day. My name's Stephen. I'm a software engineer at Redgate, and today we have on support helping us. If you'd like to introduce yourselves. Jimmy, can you hear me, of course?
Hi guys, I'm Max. I'm just one of the sales reps at Redgate, but I've been coding in Python for I think 5 years now, and excited to help you all today. Get my camera on as well. There we go.
Hello everyone, I'm Praveen. I'm a software engineer at Redgate, and I'm here to support you all today.
We also have Olivia, my daughter, who will be joining us shortly, but she's just not quite ready, hence the delay, so I apologise. So today we're going to be working on the Team Chooser program, which I will now share the link for, which also is on screen, hopefully, if you can see that, but there's a nice easy click version. And if I and that one there, I believe. Hopefully that's showing the right screen. Yeah. Can you introduce yourself there? And this is Olivia, who will be helping out today. Cool. So today we're going to be doing the Team Chooser, and hopefully you can see on my screen here that we have a nice little trinket here, and when we run it, we get given a random team based on the players of Harry, Hermione, Neville, Ginny, and Luna, which, yes, you instantly realise who that is. And if you run it multiple times, you'll see that the team names change and who's in the team changes as well. So if we begin, if we go to start a brand new Python page, which again, we shall send the link. That's better. Oh, if you have any questions or run into any problems, if you can either raise your hands or ask in the chat, and we'll try and sort you out and get you hopefully back up and running again.
Don't forget that.
Yep, didn't forget. On my list of things to remember that from last week. Okay, so if we get ourselves moving correctly. Cool. So to start off with, we're going to have a list of players. So to start that with, we'll create a variable called players. And we're going to put some names in there. So to start off with, to make an array, we need to use square brackets. And then we want to put some text in there. So we'll start with Harry, and then comma, and then we'll put Hermione in. Right. So now we've got ourselves some variables. Probably want to actually see something on screen. So we shall do, like last time, a print. And we'll say we want to print out the players. And if we run that, we should hopefully see on our little console over here, they've got Harry and Hermione.
Yay.
Anyone think you're a Harry Potter fan? So that's probably not quite the way you want to display stuff on screen. So what you can do is when we do a print, we can also say players, square bracket 0, and print players, square bracket 1. And again, if we run that, you'll now see that we have Harry and Hermione without the square brackets and that around it. So the reason we've got Harry here is Harry's in the 0 position in the array, and for 1 is Hermione.
What? I'm confused.
So when it comes to an array, the first item in an array is the 0 item.
Array?
Yeah, collection. So in this players group here, we have a collection of names. And then if we want to just play just one of those names, we have to say we want to use that array and what position in the array. So hopefully that doesn't confuse you all too much and gives you a bit of a slight understanding of arrays, which we're going to be playing with quite a fair bit today.
Like literally?
Yep, like literally.
Cameron.
So I'll give you all a few moments just to hopefully get yourselves to a point where that's working and you're happy with that. Again, if you've got any questions or get stuck, please shout out in the chat and we'll try and help you out and get you going.
Not literally shout out.
I'm not seeing any questions being raised at the moment, so I'm hoping you're all in a good position and good to continue. Right, so probably one of the things you want to do is see if you can add more people. Oh, sorry, I do apologise. Someone has asked if I can make text bigger. I do apologise. Normally it's the first job I do before I start this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully you can see that a bit better now.
Because I normally remind you.
Yeah.
Because I can't see it.
So the question is, how do you add more players?
By asking them,
Do.
right?
See if that's big enough for most people.
Hey, Dad. Can you play with me?
Oh,
See? Do you have more players? You ask them.
Alright. We'll put Olivia in there.
Yay.
I'll put Luna in there as well. But if
I
you
like
run that,
12.
wow. So if you run that, you'll see that now you've got extra names in the first one, but we've not shown them as like down here. So again, if you want to get more
because
players,
they have, like, what are you saying, like with the brackets, you don't want the bracket kind
yeah.
of thing.
So at the moment, if we do just print players, we get this bit here, which is the whole contents of an array, which isn't very helpful. And that's not a person in a team, is it? So if you want to use just Harry or just Hermione, or in your case, if you want to get Olivia to display, we'll want to go players, and you are. So which number do you think you are?
Sorry?
You're the third one there, but what do we need to do to get it to appear in an array from here? If you start at 0, so that's 0, 1.
2.
Yeah.
And then the next one will be 3.
Correct. So if we do players 2, we see Olivia's on there.
But
And
why does it start at 0?
it's a good question, and I'm sure someone can give me a sensible answer, but most programming languages start with 0 being the first item in an array, being what they call 0-based. So yeah, so now if we do players 3, we should now see Luna appear on there.
And me?
Yeah, well you were players 2.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Sorry, 1 second. I've got to click the
Cool. So hopefully you've been able to add a few extra players. And not seeing any questions, so hopefully everyone's all good. So the big thing when you make a team though, is you normally don't have the same people on the same team all the time. You normally sort of mix it up a bit. So in this case, we're going to use some random magic. So let's start off here. So we've got ourselves 4 people on the team. We'll get rid of these 2 for the moment. So to get some random magic, if you remember from previous lessons we've done, we need to import the random stuff. So if we do from random, but this time we're going to import a different module to the random number stuff. We're going to import something called choice. So here now, if we want to make use of that, we can say print choice players. Now, if we run that, we should now see we've got Luna appearing here. If I run that again, oh, this time I've got Hermione. If I run that again, Olivia, Luna, Harry.
Wait, how is there 2 Hermiones?
Well, if I comment out these ones for the moment, just to make it a little bit simpler. So now every time I run this, we get a random person chosen.
Yay!
And because we've only got 4 people, the chance of someone appearing is 1 in 4.
Wait, they look like they're going in order.
Well, I mean, Harry, Harry again, Harry again, Harry again, Harry, Hermione this time. Hermione, Hermione, Olivia, Olivia, Luna, Hermione, Harry. So it's all just random there. So you just keep clicking play. So obviously you'll get different results when you click play.
Also, we don't have to copy the names. We can change the names if we want.
So we'll get rid of these lines for now because we don't need them anymore. All right, so hopefully you've also managed to get yourself to a point here where you've managed to run this multiple times and get a different name appearing. Obviously your names may differ. You're more than welcome to have different names. Okay, so what we can do now is we can create a new variable, which we'll call player A. And we'll say we want to use a choice players. And now we'll just say we want to print player A. So now again, we should still be in the same position here because we're now storing our first random player into this variable player A, and we're then printing that out on screen. So again, running that multiple times, you should see the name changing, hopefully, when you click on that. But we need a team. So what we'll do is we'll create a team A variable.
Wait, we've got 4 people.
Yeah.
So we're going to need 2 people and a team.
Yep, that's right. So we're going to need at least 2 teams as well, aren't we? So what we'll do
Is
is,
that more like partnering?
well, in a way it is, but this is the thing. When we start making the code, we can then add more to the teams, and this is to start you off. So anyway, we're going to create a team A, and that's going to have more than one person in it. So we need to create a new array. So we do that with open and close brackets.
Because it wouldn't be much of a team if you had one person.
No. So yeah, so we've got this team A, and we now want to put someone in the team. So what we can do down here is we can say team A dot append, and we'll put player A in. So what we're doing here is we've got our new variable, which is an array, and then here on line 12 we're saying team A, we want to add, or append in this case, player A. And at the moment, if you run that, you won't really see anything magical happening here. So we'll give people a moment to get themselves, hopefully, with that bit there. And then we can start playing with the teams a little bit. So the big question is, who else do you want in your team? Who do you think you'll get this time when we get this working? Harry, Hermione, Luna?
Hermione.
Yeah? It's not like she's one of your favourites, is it? Is she? Right, so hopefully people had a chance to get themselves to the same point. So now we want to try and get some more stuff on screen here. So one of the things we want to do is when we choose someone to be in a team, we don't want them to be selectable again to put in a team. You wouldn't want to have a whole teams of Olivia's, for example. You can't really, yeah.
That'd be so amazing.
But it would be a very fair team if there was 1 on your team and 3 on the other one. You know, you've got your name pulled out multiple times, and we'll be here forever trying to pick out and get 1 of each person in a team. So what we can do is we can say from the players array, we want to remove a player.
Remove a player?
Yes. So you think about it. If we run this code and say, for example, here when we choose a player, we choose Harry as a from the random, right?
Yeah.
We then add them to team A, but if we run this code again, we don't want Harry to be being selectable again, do we?
What's like him being always selected?
Yeah. So we need to remove him from our collection or an array, sorry. So for this point here, we're going to say we want to remove him from there, and then that way we can do something like this. So we can say print, and we'll say players left, and then we'll say players. So if I run this code now, we can see that in the first, when we went through, Luna was our player that we selected, and she's been added to team A, and that now all that's left in the players to play is Harry, Hermione, and Olivia. So when we get further down with this code, we'll go through, and so hopefully we end up choosing 1 person each time, and it won't duplicate. So if I run this again, we'll see Olivia was chosen. So you're on team A,
Yay!
and you've got Harry, Hermione, and Luna left over. Because that's how team works, isn't it? You think if you're playing a team at school and someone goes, I want to pick that person, you can't then pick that person again.
Well, if there was 2 people with the same names, maybe you can pick them again.
Well, yeah, but in this case, we'd have Olivia 1 and Olivia 2 or something, but let's not confuse things like that. So, hoping that people have had a chance to do that, hopefully you can run your code and you'll see that you're finding a person being selected and then being removed from the group. So what we want to do is we want to create a second team. So we'll call that team B.
What, so like we're doing you going there and you going there.
Exactly. So we've got an array we're going to create here for team B. And we'll go player B.
Can I write something?
Yeah, you can write some. I was half wondering when you were going to come.
Asking that.
Okay, so in this case here, we're going to pretty much copy what we've done before. So we're going to have a player B, and we're going to randomly choose from the players that are left over. So for this example, if I run the code, and this time, we'd have a choice of Harry, Olivia, Luna. So we'd have one of those randomly selected for team B. So
Wait,
if you,
wait, so what?
so we want to print, and then we'll say player B,
So what do I write?
print. So basically what's on line 12, so print.
Well.
And then open brackets,
Oh, I forgot to do that.
shift 9, there you go,
And
player B.
oh,
And
yeah.
capital B. Yeah. So we need to add that player to team B, don't we? So if we do team B,
Okay, so what do I write?
team B. And we want to add that to team B, don't we? So what did we say before we had to use? Well, here's a hint. Line 13's kind of got the code you need. Append? Because we're adding them to team B, aren't we?
Okay, so
Yeah.
how do I spell that?
So dot. And then append. So A double P.
A double P.
Yep,
So
PP. PP. Yep. END.
E N.
Yep. And then open brackets.
Oh.
Nope. Shift 9, remember?
Oh yeah.
And so what do you think we need? So we're adding. What do you think we're adding on there? Well, if it's team B, player B maybe? What do you reckon?
Oh, so
Yeah.
yeah, right.
It's a player B, yeah. And then B. Capital B. Cool. Right. So what we need to do then is we'll just quickly, because I've seen somebody likes some code, what we'll do is we then do players dot remove, because we don't want to be able to select that person again, do we?
Maybe it would be good if you could. Wait, players.
So remember the collection of players, yeah?
Yeah.
And then we'll say print, and we'll say players left. And when we run that, we should see. So first off, Luna was selected, and we had Harry, Hermione, and Olivia left. Then Hermione was selected, so she's in team B. And we've got players left of Harry and Olivia.
I want to be on team B.
And it is the link one. So we'll just copy that. So for people who need the code, there you go. Cool. So if we run that again, we'll see that this time Olivia was chosen for team A
Aww,
and Harry is on team B.
I want Hermione. I want Hermione.
Now, if we think about it, while you write, if people are still writing their code as well, we've pretty much written the same code twice, haven't we?
No.
Well, you think about it, we've got a team, sorry, there's a singular team. We're grabbing a player and sticking that player into a team.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing that for two different teams.
Mm-hmm.
So does that feel like we're repeating ourselves a little bit? And maybe we could
No,
use...
because... Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, think about it.
I didn't think about it.
The difference between this code here that I've written from 11 to 15 and the code from 21 to 17.
Wait. 5. Oh, it's the same line, number of lines.
Yeah,
you
and
used.
the only difference here is we've
B.
gone player A, player B, and team A and team B. So do you think we could possibly use some of our looping magic from the other week?
I don't know if you want to use it.
Well, I feel like there's definitely a strong bit there for it.
Okay.
So what we can do is if we create a while loop.
A what?
A while loop.
A wild loop.
While.
Oh, so it goes on for a while.
It only goes on until you hit something. So what we'll do is I'll write the code first. So what we do is while, and we're going to see this thing called len, which means length, and we're going to say players. That's greater than 0. So what I'll do is I'll move that in a second. Right, so while does something until a condition's true. So it'll keep going around and round and round and round and round until it hits a condition.
Round.
Len is asking for the length of players. So when we first hit this code, when we first hit this code, we have 4 players, don't we?
4.
Yep. So what we do is when we write this code, we're going to, each time we go through, a player is going to get removed. So the player's count's going to go down. So the next time it comes back to this loop, it'll be 3, then 2, then 1, and at one point it'll be 0. And that's when, at that point, the loop goes, oh, and it'll drop out.
Like, literally.
Yeah. So, you know, like the ifs, how we have the condition, you do something and then do this. That's what a while loop does, very similar.
Okay.
So if we do while, and what we'll do is we'll just bunk that in as well. So now if we run this, we should see.
Why do you have the space?
Oh, just a quick. So look, first time we run this now, we've got Harry, Hermione, Olivia, Luna. Harry gets picked to team A. So we've got Hermione, Olivia, Luna. Then Olivia gets picked.
For what team?
You're team B. Then you got.
Oh, wait, don't we want them all on the same line?
Well, we're going to get to that. So then we've got.
That's confusing.
Yeah. So after you've been picked, we've hit down here. We've still got players left, so we come back up again.
Wait, so I'm paired with Luna.
You are paired with Luna, yeah.
Oh, I wanted Luna.
So that's pretty cool now. So we've effectively got a bit here that when we run this multiple times, we'll see that Olivia and Harry now are on the same team, and Luna and Hermione. But we can keep running this a number of times. You're in Hermione's team, you're happy now. I won't push play now. So hopefully people have had a chance to write their own while loop, and hopefully you're getting something very similar.
Yeah.
That's the code. So what would be nice though, instead of us having to manually go through and figure out who's on what team, it'd be nice if we got this to tell us who's in each team, wouldn't it?
Ooh, I've got something thinking.
Oh, that's good.
I'm
So
thinking.
what we want to do is after our loop, we want to make sure we're back at the start here, so not indented. And we'll say print, and we'll say team A, and we want to say who's in team A. So in this case, we'll say team A. Right, and we'll do the same for team B, because obviously it'd be good to see what is in team B, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It'll be very confusing.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Wait, but what would happen?
So from this time we run it, we can see Harry and Olivia on the same team, Hermione and Luna.
Hey, Dad.
Yes. There.
Yay.
Well,
We've
so
still got that big giant.
well, what we're going to do now is we only had these print lines in here to sort of just help us show what we're doing and sort of to debug if we had an error. So we don't need them anymore, so we can get rid of all those prints. It also makes it a bit cleaner.
What queen is like? There's some dust. The print is the dust.
Well, now if I run this, we should just see that we now have
Yay!
Harry, Hermione, Olivia, Luna, and then Olivia, Hermione, and Harry and Luna. So that's, and if you run that multiple times, hopefully you keep seeing it all changing.
Oh, yay!
So what I'll do is I'm going to share the code with people if they've got stuck, but hopefully I'm not seeing anyone saying they got stuck at the moment, so that's a good sign. So may I have the mouse back for a moment, please?
One sec. No. Ah.
There you go.
Yay.
Right, so if we get the link and share that with everyone.
Sharing is caring.
Indeed.
So you're sharing it because it's caring it. Care. Yeah. Never mind.
So hopefully everyone's all good. If not, again, just let us know and we can try and help you out. So what would be nice now is instead of having this array up here, right, we want to be able to change names easily, wouldn't we?
What do you mean?
Well, at the moment we have to come into our code and change the names, but pretend that this is on your supercomputer system somewhere.
Huh? I'm still confused.
The idea is we want to be able to have these names stored elsewhere. So
Well,
that
like in a picture frame, for example.
Oh.
Elsewhere.
Yeah.
You didn't say exactly.
So what we can do is we can add a file. So up here you should see this nice little plus icon, and this will create us a new text file. We're going to call this players.txt.
Oh, that's boring.
Well, that's what it is. Right, so now what we can do is we'll add our names in here. So we'll do Harry, Hermione,
Can I be under Hermione?
Olivia, and Luna. So basically we're adding all our players into this text file here.
Wait. I was wondering if the first letters of it spelled something.
No. If it is, it's totally unintentional. So hopefully you've done that. If we then click back into our Python, the main.py.
There we go, it's back.
So at the moment we've not made any changes to our code, so it makes no difference, but now we are going to make a difference here. So what we'll do is double check. So again, if you haven't managed to do it, this little plus button here will create you a new file. And you want to name it players.txt.
No, that's a boring name though.
And then we're going to add in your names each on there. So one line for each name.
Still boring.
Okay. So in here, we now don't need the players in here anymore. So we're just going to remove all those players out.
What?
Oh, because we've got them stored elsewhere.
Right.
Okay. So what we want to do is we want to get those players from our file. So what we can do here is we can say file equals and then open. And we'll say players.txt. Right, comma, R. Now, you might be wondering here, we've got this variable called file, because we're opening a file. Open is the command to open. This first part here is the name of the file we're opening, so that should match the name you've got up here. And then this bit here, R, means we're opening it in read-only mode. So, hopefully at this point, you've got something very similar. But at the moment, we're opening a file, but we're not actually getting any of the players in there. So what we want to do then is say players equals file.read, because we want to read a file. And then we want to split the lines. So dot split lines. So this here will get the contents of our file, read them, and for each individual line in the file, they'll get split up into one of the bits for the array. So now if I run this, hopefully you should see we still get Harry, Hermione, Olivia, Luna. So it all works. So now if we want to change our players, so say we want to change Luna to be, I don't know, give me a random name. Fred?
No.
Oh, give me another name in a second. So we change Fred there, and we go back to run this. We can now see that we now have Fred instead of Luna.
I don't want to be on Fred's team.
Oh, I hear Fred's really good.
I said, I've heard once he's ate a basketball.
You know, there might be someone out there who's called Fred, and they've suddenly gone, yes, I'm on Olivia's team. I mean, you've got Harry as a cousin. Haven't got Hermione though, I don't know of. So what we'll do is we'll share that for people if people are having trouble. But hopefully you're at this point as well, so that you've got yourself your main Python code and your text file for them.
Can you just
pig. All right. Apparently we've got a pig instead now.
Yeah, I want to be on team's pig. I want to be on pig's.
There you are. Pig and Olivia on the same team. Happy now? That's not a reference to Pig from Home, is it?
No.
Pig cat? No? Okay.
I just want to pull its tail a bit.
Yeah, I do worry about you.
So we can make that honk noise. You know.
So hopefully you've got all that going. Right, so some of you may have been experimenting and may have been checking what happens if you put another person in. So what if we say we put Luna back in, because Luna's quite fun. If we run this now, problem.
She's not on a team.
Well, there's a bigger problem than that. At the moment,
there is no team.
Yeah, we've
And
got.
it will be unfair.
Well, if you think about the moment, we now have 5 people, and like you say, one team will have 3 and one team will have 2.
I'm okay to be on the 2 team.
But the code is not okay with that, because what happens is we run through this, and we take out 2 players, we take out 2 players, we take out 1 player, we've got no players left. We try and do this again, there's no one left to select. At this point, we get this error called an index error. You've tried to
So
ask.
we need an even number of players.
Well, that's part of the problem, yes. So if you've got an even number, you're fine. If you have an odd number, then this code breaks.
Like 4 is even, 2 is even, but that wouldn't be much of a team.
So, but in life, you don't always have teams that are equal numbers, because you might have an odd number of people available to play, right? So what we want to do is make our code a little bit more resilient to that. So what we can say is that if players equals an empty array, then we want to break out of our loop.
Wait, break the loop?
Yes, our while loop. So what happens here is, say we've got the same situation. So Harry, Hermione, Olivia and Pig have all been selected.
Yay!
We're coming back up here, Luna gets selected for Team A. We get to here, we removed Luna, players is now empty. This code will get triggered and we'll hit this break line. And what this does, it will break out of this while cycle down to here. So we'll skip all this code. So now we can have an odd number of people. So if we run this, we now get Luna, Olivia, Hermione, Pig and Harry.
Now I want to be with Pig. I want to be with Pig. No.
Well, don't get too keen on it, because we'll probably end up running again. You'll be on a different team again.
Yay, I want to be on the 2 team now. 2. Seriously. Yay, I'm with Pig and on the 2 team.
Brilliant. So hopefully, I'll just shrink this text down slightly so people can see it all on screen at one time.
I can't see it now.
Actually, if I do that, the bigger screen, and I can up the font a bit. There we go.
Yeah.
Right, so again, not seeing any people with questions, so I'm hoping everyone's all okay and good to go. So what we could do is, well, if you sort of remember at the beginning, the teams weren't called Team A and Team B, were they? We had different names, didn't we? Oh, you might not see it because you weren't in the room at the time. So we can have different team names.
What was the team name? What was the name again?
I think there were things like alligators, gorillas, eagles, pythons, wasps, and panthers. Only because I can see it on screen. So what we can do is we can do some random team stuff. So if people want to give that a shot, and we'll give it a shot here, because we haven't done this, we haven't practiced this bit. So what do you think we can do? Should we create a list called team names?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I've got a good team name.
Yeah. Well, we can change the names that we have in our team. So, right. Oh, there's a good question someone's actually asked about the double equals. So on, which is now at line 20. Do you remember why double equals?
No, I completely forgot.
It's because we can check. We're checking a condition.
Oh.
So we're saying players is equal to an empty array.
I remember
A
that.
single equal would be assigning it to it, and we'd end up with that breaking the code.
I remember.
And if you haven't tried that, might be worth seeing. Yeah, doesn't like that. So that's one way of knowing that.
Wait, why is it all gone then?
Because it didn't like that. You're trying to do assigning logic with an if statement, which doesn't work.
Okay. No! I want to be on the 2 team with Pig.
Okay. Well, let me just share the code that we've got at the moment.
Okay, that's good enough.
Now, should we change Pig to be Ginny?
Oh.
Well, then we keep some of the Harry Potter theme, but you can keep you in there just to make you happy. Well, you can pretend it's pig.
Oh
You've been watching far too much Home.
I haven't watched it in ages.
Right, so if we go
I
link.
want big clothes.
All right, let's share this because I can't remember when we last shared it, but then that'll hopefully help some people out who might be stuck.
And then afterwards, can I change it back to pig?
Someone's saying that they're having trouble on their indent stuff. So it might be a case of here when you've done your if statement, you need to make sure it's in the same sort of line as these other ones here. And your break then will need to be one further in. Because Python works with the indentation to know when you're doing something and when you moved out. So this indent here is to say that you're part of this code. Whereas these ones indented like that are part of the while loop. And so this stuff, when you get back to this line, is outside of the while loop. So hopefully that's helped someone out there. So, team names. Should we create a team name variable?
Yeah. I've got 2 really good team names
Yeah.
for everybody.
So should we put them in here for now?
Mm-hmm.
So what team names are we gonna have?
Okay, so one's gonna be called Unicorn.
Yeah.
One's gonna be called Pig.
You're obsessed with pig at the moment, aren't you? All right. What
I
about?
love piggy.
What about? Can we have something else that's snail? And maybe I don't know. What's
Spider.
another?
Spider.
I knew you were gonna say spider. Right. So that's quite
What about instead of unicorns, Unikitty?
good of Unikitty.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got a list of teams. So what else do we want to do? We want to give the team. Should we make a team A name?
Okay.
Yeah. And
What shall be?
well, how do you think we randomly choose a name from our array?
Mm-mm.
Or what did we do earlier when we did this? Choice?
Yeah.
And let's say
Obviously,
team.
it in line 18, player A, choice players, but instead.
Sorry?
Never mind.
I got confused there. Right, so we're going to say team A name. We're going to randomly choose a name from our team name collection. Yeah. And team B name. And we'll do the same thing, yeah?
Choice. 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 Spell right. Spell right. Spell
Yep.
right. Spell right.
And then what we can do down here, instead of saying team A, we'll just say, should we put the whole name of the team in there?
What?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we'll put in here team A. And we'll put team B. Team. All right, if we run that, put a space there. Now, I knew that was going to happen, and I wondered if you'd noticed that.
Why they both say spider?
Well, you think about it, when we did this code down here, we went through and we removed a player. This is the exact reason why we did that.
Wait, it's like, okay, Team Spider, go fetch the ball. Team Spider, go play basketball.
So we run that again, you'll see that snail pig. If we run this multiple times, we'll potentially hit the same thing at some point. But we hit the same, yeah, 2 Unikitties. So we need to remove a team, don't we? So what we should do is, do you remember what we need to do?
Nope.
Team names dot remove, and we'll say team A. So now, with that code in there, we should hopefully end up with a scenario where we no longer accidentally have 2 teams with the same name.
Wait.
Look at that, you're happy there. Unikitty, Olivia, Luna, and Hermione. That's got to be pretty good, I'd say.
Nah.
Oh, there's Unikitty with Olivia and Hermione. Right. So what we'll do is we'll share this code for people.
Then afterwards, can I change the name to Pig?
You can do whatever you like when we finish doing this for everyone.
Pig is on Team Pig. That'll be funny. Pig Pig is on Team Pig. Piggy.
So just share the code now, which has our current teams on there.
What if we change the team names to be the names that are on the team names? So like, for example, I'm at the front of Team Unikitty to make the team name my name.
That might be a little bit confusing, but and also it makes it harder for us to debug if we accidentally make a mistake. So if we keep the names different, it makes it easier.
Wait, can you change that to Chocobo?
Yes, I can change to Chocobo. There you go. Oh, look at that. You're on Team Chocobo. Not bad. Be interesting to know how many people out there know what a Chocobo is.
I'm not sure what a Chocobo is. I don't know.
So hopefully you've all got yourself to a point there where you've got your team names being randomly assigned and not ending up with the scenario where you've got the same team name being used.
That you hold it up this one.
Well, I'm going to try to teaching at the moment. There you
I
go.
know. This is a Chocobo. This is a Chocobo. It's like a duck.
That's one way to call it, I suppose.
It is like a duck though.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
it doesn't go quack.
so we've stored these all here, but if you remember earlier on, we did that with the names of the people, didn't we? Remember before when we had Hermione, Olivia, Ginny and all that were written in here, weren't they?
Uh-huh.
So do you think we could do maybe something similar?
Okay.
Yeah, so should we create a new thing? And we'll call it Teams Text.
Team text.
Teams, yeah. Right, so if we go back, can you remember what our teams were? We had Chocobo.
Chocobo, snail,
Yeah,
spider,
Yeah.
Unikitty.
cool. So
We have a lot of code.
we've got all our teams there, haven't we? So what do you think we can do to read it from a file?
Did the same as the names.
So yeah, should we move them from here? And then should we open up the file?
Yep.
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 So in this case, we'll call team file, so we don't get confused with the other file. And we say equals open, single quote, teams.txt. Can you remember what the next bit we need is?
Nope.
Take a guess. Well, have a look what's on line 13. What do you think?
Again, 13 is multiply.
It is at the moment, yeah. So we need that
File.
single quote R because we're read-only mode.
It says file.
Yeah. So then if we then do team names equals team file.
The
dot-
team's file.
Can you remember what next after team file.read?
Nope.
Split lines, isn't it? Oop, not spot lines. Spot lines will not do much. Split lines. So now, hopefully, if we run this, we should see. Fingers crossed. Oh, what have I done wrong? Can you see what I've done wrong? I'll give you a hint. It's a letter S.
You didn't put a capital letter.
No, no, split line. I've said instead of split line. So if we run that now, there we go. So we have our Unikitty and snail. Run that again.
Yay.
Chocobo Unikitty.
Yay.
Chocobo spider. So we've had all the names come through.
Chocobo spider.
Chocobo spider, yeah.
What about one of them, Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think so far? That's pretty good now. We've now got the ability to change the names of our teams. We've got the ability to change the names of people that are playing.
Okay.
Do you think that's pretty cool?
Okay.
So maybe, what about, could we have more than 2 teams?
Well, you're saying like 3 teams?
Yeah. Do you reckon we could do 3 teams?
Or 18,000 teams?
You could do if you really want to. Well, we'll show you this at the moment. Sorry, share this even.
We are showing it, Dad.
I know, I meant share. And not the singer.
Huh?
There's a singer out there called Cher. Cher. C-H-E-R.
Ah.
Showing my age. So, do people want to have a go and see if they can add a 3rd team?
No, it's too much.
Well, this is the last bit of the lesson today. We've actually blazed through this quite quickly.
Really?
Yeah, really quickly. You think about other weeks where we've sort of struggled to get to the end in time. This week we've got a little bit of time left. Oh, you know people are seeing the screen, you doing that, so
Sorry.
yeah. So the question is, how do you think we'll add a third team? Or how could we add a third team? Well, this is the joy of programming. There's multiple ways of doing it. And you might do it one way and then find there's a better way, or you can tidy up your code a bit.
I have no idea.
So should we call it create Team C maybe?
What about team? And why does it have to be the alphabet?
Well, because it makes it easier for you to go, there's the different teams.
What about team?
Well, if we keep it in line with the others, so we've got Team A, Team B, Team C
I've got
in the variable names.
I've got the great idea. I've got a really good idea. To add another team
Yeah.
name.
Well, we can add more teams in there.
Can
Well, should we keep to this and you can do the team name in a second, yeah?
Okay.
All right, so we've added an extra team variable, haven't we?
Mhm,
So we need to put people in the team, shouldn't we?
mhm.
So how do you think we do that?
Well, if two people. Wait, what? How are we gonna do that? Well, we have 5 people in 3 teams.
Yeah, well, that's fine. We can work. We can add more people and add more
So
teams.
we have to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1.
Yeah, we can add more teams, more people as a team. So let's add some more. I do apologise for talking a bit fast there. That's force of habit. So force of habit. Right. So shall we add a? We need a player C, don't we?
Yeah.
So if we do player C, and what do you think we need to do? If we're getting a random person. Well, choice, aren't we?
I am again.
Right, so we've got player C, and yes, it's not going to work, and I wonder if other people can spot why it's not going to work in a minute. So we've got player C, we need to add them to team C, don't we?
Mhm.
So should we do that?
Mhm.
So team C, and how do we add someone to a team? Can you remember what we've been using?
I don't know.
Think about it. Well, you have a look on the screen, the code's there.
Really?
Yeah, we're copying code from above.
What line is it? Oh, is it this?
Yes.
Okay.
So if we do append, and we're going to add player C, yeah?
Huh?
Yeah. And then we need to make sure we take player C out, don't we?
Mhm.
So if we do players,
Wait, player C.
yes,
Player C
yes, we've created a player C.
with. Oh, I get it.
Cool. So remove player C because we don't want to have Harry or whoever kept being picked by accident, do we?
Well, so like you.
So have you spotted the, well, we also need to add one here to print play team C, don't we? Oh, we need to create team C name, don't we? So should we do that first?
Oh, I got the perfect name.
So let's,
I got the perfect name.
so as you can see here at the moment, it's currently highlighting the team C name doesn't exist. So we need to create
It's
a team
not
C name,
this.
not defined. We haven't, I've made up a name that I'm trying to use a variable that doesn't exist. So up here, we need to have a team B, team C, don't we? And we want to say choice and team names again. Now, again, I have done something deliberately wrong. Can you spot what I've done wrong? Well, we need to make sure we remove the team B from there, don't we? Otherwise, we can end up with team B and team C having the same names, wouldn't we? So team names dot remove team B name, and maybe for, not that we need to because there's no more teams after this, but you might have to. But team names dot remove. I'm going to say team C name. Right, now if I run this, this is going to not work. I'll make that a bit smaller so hopefully you can all see that on screen a little bit better? Do you remember what we had last time? So like you said, we've got 5 people and 3 teams.
I can't read it.
Saying index out of range again. So the problem is, we've gone here, we've taken player B, we've removed player B, and we've not checked that the array is empty, have we?
What do you mean?
So we've got empty array. So we're then trying to take, you think about it, if you go to grab a jar of sweets and you take, there's 5 sweets in there. You go 1 for me, 1 for you, 1 for them. 1 for me, 1 for you, and then you go in there to try another sweet, but you've run out of sweets. In our coding here, that suddenly blows the program up and goes, I'm out of range. There's not enough to do it. So we need to say, yeah, if players equals empty array, break.
Wait, break.
Yes.
Oh, right. Break.
So now if we run that, there we go. So we now have Unikitty with 2 people, Chocobo with 2 people, Snail with 1 person.
Aw.
But we can add more people to our team.
I
So
want
if
to be
we,
the only one on that team.
well, let's just add more people into the teams to just, all right,
Aw, I wanna be
let's add in a Max and a Ravine. And you know what, add me in as well. So if we run that
I've
now,
got perfect team name.
Stapler. All right, and apparently I have to add a new team called Stapler. So now if we run that, we have a Stapler team with 3 people, a Snail team with 3 people, and a Spider team with 2. And you'll know every time we run this that Unikitty will always only have 2 people. So we could have, because of the way the code runs. So what I'll do is I shall share that code with people.
Wait, don't we need 1, 2? Don't we need 8 people instead?
Well, no, we've got 8 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Don't we need 9 people?
If you want to have a fair team size.
Add 1 person in. One more person.
One more in for.
Name Stapler Remover.
No, let's not. We'll just go with Simon. That's an easy name to remember.
No. What about
Well, you can practice and play around with this afterwards and put new
Water.
teams.
what about water?
I'll let you play with that later.
Oh.
So hopefully that's give you an experience of using arrays. Let's have a look. Someone is having a problem. And I can't copy that link, unfortunately, so I can't even test it. So if you've got these brackets being included here, for example, that's because we're printing out an array, which for the code we've written here is what we want to do. But if you remember from earlier on in the thing, we were doing the, so for example here, okay, apparently I'm misunderstanding the problem there. Hopefully someone else might be able to help you out on that one on thing, because I can't copy your link and check, unfortunately. But yeah, if you've seen a copy of the code I've got, maybe you can compare it between what you've got and what we've written, and hopefully that might be able to see where maybe something's not quite right and might be able to get yourself unstuck.
Come on, come on.
Yeah.
I want to be with you, Hermione and Pig.
Well, given it's random and that doesn't work that way, you'd be pressing play for an awful long time.
Okay.
So let's have a look. Cool. So for us, we've got 5 teams, but you can have as many teams as you want if you've done this to be randomly selected. We've got 9 players, just so we had a nice even setup. Oh, and then we've got the code here for basically choosing, in this case, 3 different teams. Now, there are ways of making this a bit nicer, so you could have less repeating, and you could have it so you can define somewhere that you want to do 1 to 200 teams, for example. Maybe that's something you can do as a bit of a practice exercise afterwards, because there are a lot of ways to improve this code, but from a starting point, this is a good way to get you introduced to arrays and reading text from a file. So yeah, I hope that's helped people out and you've all sort of got a bit more of an understanding on this. So I think that's pretty much it, because we're pretty much out of time. So yeah, thank you everyone for participating. Hope you found this enjoyable, and hopefully we've not confused you too much. So thanks from me and Olivia here. Thanks to Max and Praveen on support for helping out. yeah, and we'll see you all hopefully next week. So have a good weekend, everyone. And we'll see you later.